Currently, I am the Director of Research and Strategic Planning for BC Corrections, and we fall in the Ministry of Public Safety and Solicitor General. So in this role, I'm responsible for supervising a team of researchers, and we're responsible for research and analysis in support of BC Corrections program and policy development goals. So we carry out a lot of, traditional research activities like program evaluations and psychometric assessments of our risk and needs tools, literature reviews, those sorts of things. But we also do a lot of data analytics. Data analysis to inform policy decisions or to report out on key performance indicators for different areas of our business. Aside from that, I also provide oversight to the use and interpretation of all BC Corrections data. So whether that be internal to our own ministry or data that we provide to other ministries as well, and also data we give to academics who are interested in studying our population. So those are kind of the two main functions of my role. There's also a whole host of other activities that we're responsible for in relation to performance metrics for the branch, and representing our branch on cross-ministry initiatives and in cross-jurisdictional working groups and that sort of thing. So very diverse.
So you're at the top. So you do the sort of oversight. You're not necessarily crunching the data anymore or collecting the data kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the team of researchers that does all the nose to the grindstone work, and I provide oversight to all of that now.
Okay, cool. So how did you end up there? What's your path look like from when, I think the last time I saw you, which would have been when you were around the time that you're getting ready to defend your PhD?
So while I was in university, I think I took a lot of opportunity to do research in different fields and get an understanding of where I wanted to land when I finished university, whether that be in academia. That was obviously an option for me as well, and others, something that most people consider at some point. And also, explored what opportunities there were in government. And so I was fortunate to have a few different opportunities with the Federal Student Work Experience program. So I got to see what research departments looked like in those realms, and also with Correctional Service of Canada. I also had the opportunity to do a few different kind of shorter term contracts with Correctional Service of Canada in several different divisions. So in the evaluation division, I carried out a practicum with them. So that gave me kind of an insight into their business.
Right.
I was an analyst with the women offender sector for a short period of time as well. So that was really interesting too, because it had more of an operational lens to it than I had, and I hadn't had that kind of experience before. So, and then I also had a stint at the research department within Correctional Service of Canada as well. So all of those kind of gave me some background experience to be able to apply to this position in BC, which is ultimately where I wanted to land. I was in a senior research analyst position there for about a year and a half prior to being asked to act in a director position for my manager at the time. And following that, was successful in securing it permanently. So yeah, truly landed what I consider to be my dream job. So feel very lucky.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I think we all look for dream jobs. So it's nice to hear that somebody has found theirs. And it also sounds like being in Ottawa, I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but the opportunities that you had while you were a student, partially because we're in Ottawa and that's where head offices are of all these things, that sounds like that helped kind of give you the skills that would help you in your to land that dream job eventually.
Totally. And not just the job opportunities, but the people that I met through those opportunities really gave me the connections to succeed in the role that I'm in now. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. So I'm going to take a couple of steps back. Did you always want to be a psychologist? Is that sort of what you started off with way back in undergrad, or have you kind of changed your mind along the way?
I've changed my mind several times. So before I even came to Carleton, I actually had a hospitality management diploma.
Okay.
So didn't start off in social sciences whatsoever. And then following a few years of working and, just seeing what was out there in the world, I decided to think about pursuing a career in criminal law. So Carleton was the first place I turned initially because I thought they have a law program.
Right.
So that's what I started in, was a law major. But I did want to see what else was out there. So I took a lot of different courses on, dinosaurs and climate change, and really just saw what there was out there in terms of opportunities. Took an intro to psychology class and found that was something that I really enjoyed, and later became very passionate about. And so I switched to a double major in my third year and finished my degree with the double major in law and psychology. And then it was a natural fit really to then move into forensic psychology, where I could combine both of my passions in one field. So that combined with, I think, the fact that Carleton has a very strong group of faculty members with expertise in so many areas of forensic psychology, that it was a natural fit to continue on right through for my master's and my PhD in forensic psychology as well.
Yeah, I know when I go to recruitment events, I always tell students, we have the strongest forensic psychology department in Canada. And I say, I know that sounds like superlative overly, but it's true. We have such a range, as you say, of areas, and we've added 2 new people this year and another one coming up. And so it continues to grow. And it's a pretty competitive program, certainly at the graduate level, because there aren't that many of them in Canada, sort of thing.
Right.
So
for sure. Yeah.
So what are some of your most memorable experiences at Carleton as a student?
Funny, in preparing for this chat, I reflected on my experiences, and I think a lot of them revolved around food, oddly enough. I mean, there was a lot of other things as well that I loved about Carleton, but the shawarma in the cafeteria was something I made the trek for twice a week, and London fogs and egg sandwiches in the Loeb Cafe was another staple. But aside from those sorts of things, I think things that stood out to me were just the simple things like studying in the tunnels with friends from classes, and working in the gender and crime lab with Dr. Shelley Brown, late into the night working on stats assignments with fellow students. And I think another thing that stands out is all of the extracurricular activities that I took part in. There was so many, it was hard to choose, but I during my undergrad and even during graduate studies, I took breakdancing lessons, and I joined the figure skating club for a period of time and played intramural soccer. So all of those things stood out to me because you make a lot of friends outside of your own department. So yeah. And so those are kind of the main things. I also taught a course one summer, so that was obviously an interesting experience, and one that stands out as being very rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like you had you're sort of underlying the importance of balance, that there's the academic part, but there are lots of opportunities for other kinds of activities that kind of keep you sane as you're going through the program, and as you say, make connections kind of thing as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's much needed when you're in school that long.
Yeah, for sure. So what advice do you wish that you had received, or would you give to somebody just starting off an undergrad degree?
That's a good question. I think take random courses, because you don't know what's going to be your passion. You often go in with some preconceptions as to what you think a particular topic is like, or what you think you would be interested in. But until you actually take those courses, sometimes you don't know, and you might be surprised. So especially in those early years where you have the opportunity to have a more diverse collection of courses that you can take advantage of that. And as you mentioned, find activities and clubs to join, because having that network of support beyond those that are in the classroom with you, I think is really important for that work-life balance, as you mentioned. So yeah,
I think that's really important to hear. You don't have to have it all figured out, and that there's more to school than just going to classes and getting particular grades, kind of thing. That you want to experience the whole university life, and that means doing things outside of the class, and as you say, making friends and getting support, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why would somebody want to choose Carleton as opposed to any other university, which, other than the forensic department, which, is clearly, I think, stands out, but what other reasons do you think Carleton is a good place to come for students thinking about where they should go in the fall?
Mm-hmm. I think it's just a really well-rounded university. It also has a bit of a college feel to it. Like, it doesn't feel too big. It feels like a bit of a community. And it offers, it offers so many academic opportunities and extracurricular activities. And I think the biggest thing is the beautiful setting. I mean, taking study breaks and sitting by the river, to read a textbook is certainly an advantage to other universities. It's a beautiful location. And I guess another advantage too is, you can walk between classes without having to step outside in those wintry, cold winter days. So that was certainly something that I liked about the school.
Benefit of the tunnel. So are you from BC originally? Is that why you were moving out there afterwards, kind of thing? So yeah, a bit of a transition weather-wise, I suspect, moving.
Yes, very much so.
Well, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to be back in the spring, in March here.
Yeah, it's still pretty cold here, I have to tell you that. Okay, well, thank you so much.